Welcome to Poppy's blog. Thank you for joining me on this Sunday. Today I'll be reading a story I wrote on Thursday, our camping trip, Diamond Lake, Oregon. Every year for vacation, we went on a camping trip. My parents received a brochure from Mel Cotton's sporting goods store in San Jose. Their motto was, "Where successful adventures begin." This year, my parents settled on Diamond Lake, Oregon. My mom called Mel Cotton's and reserved a few cots for us. My dad picked up the cots and purchased supplies for the trip. He liked to fish. My mom took us girls to the secondhand store to buy pants and t-shirts to wear on our trip. My big brother couldn't come because he was president of the senior class and had responsibilities, so his friend Jim offered to come. Jim was a character and was part of our family. He was always around the house while growing up, and I remember my big brother, my mom, and Jim watching the Smothers Brothers comedy and the Laugh-In Show. The day before our vacation, my dad connected the boat to the International Travelall and checked the brake lights. It was a summer day as we all ran around gathering our items for our vacation. After packing, we ate dinner and we went to bed early. We were excited. We woke up at the crack of dawn and jumped into the truck with our pillows and pajamas on. We slept while our parents navigated the roads. The first stop was at a truck stop. We all ran into the bathroom to change our clothes, wash our faces, and brush our teeth. We then had breakfast and got back on the road. My sister Jessie kept asking, "Are we almost there?" She finally fell asleep, and I overheard my parents saying we were making good timing. As we passed the Oregon state line, we started climbing into higher elevation, and it started to snow. My mother said, "This is unbelievable." We had to all pull over, and Jim and my dad had to tie a tarp in the boat to cover some of the fishing gear. Everyone became quiet as we slowly drove down the highway. We checked into our camping spot, and my dad and Jim immediately set up the tent and used a tarp to block the wind from entering the campsite. Our tent was an army tent, like the one used in the TV sitcom MASH. My mom organized the cots and made it cozy. Jim started the fire, and my mom put the coffee pot on. Us girls asked if we could go for a hike. Mom said yes, but not too far. We happily started down a trail until we had birds that started to dive bomb us because we probably were near the nest. My little sister cried, and I grabbed her hand and told her that she'd be okay. So we hightailed it out of there as quick as we could. We came back to the campsite and sat around the fire listening to music while my mother cooked dinner. The sunset was beautiful that night. The moon was bright and was glistening on the lake. We ate dinner and afterwards talked a little near the fire. Then we called it a night. Jim said he wanted to stay up, so my parents made him night watchman. He was funny. Daylight broke and the sun came out. My sisters wanted to go for a hike, but this time in the opposite direction. My mom said yes, stay on the trail and be careful. I was in charge since I was the oldest. We thought we could make it to around the lake, but it was too long of a hike, so we decided to hike up a hill. We raced up the hill, and when we reached the top, the view was amazing. We sat for a while and talked. A lady came up the hill, and we stared at her. She was an older lady, and she said, "Oh, are you guys sisters?" We said, "Yes." "You guys are very pretty." We said, "Thank you." We asked her if she was alone. She said, "Yes." Then we heard my mom yelling for us. We said, "It was nice meeting you, but we have to get back to the campsite." When we arrived at the campsite, my dad had taken the boys out into the boat to go fishing, so we decided to take a nap. My mother was sitting at the table writing and drinking coffee. When we woke up, we looked over at the neighbor, and he had caught an abundance of rainbow trout. He had the fish line hanging from tree to tree. As we turned, my dad and brothers were coming back in the boat. Gary and Dennis had big smiles, but it looked like my dad and Jim didn't catch anything. My mom said, "I guess we'll have to eat something else tonight." Just when she said that, the neighbor came over and introduced himself and gave my mom 5 rainbow trout. The man was older and was happy to give us the fish. My mother invited him to stay and eat with us, and he accepted. He was interesting. He served in the Army during the Korean War and the Vietnam War, and now lived in Humboldt County. The man stayed for dinner, and my dad and our new friend taught me how to fillet and clean the trout. We sat around the fire making up a story. One person would start, then another would add to it, and then so on. Our new friend even added to the story. He thought it was quite amusing. We had a wonderful night with our new friend. The following days, we hiked, biked, and went swimming, and we had lots of fun. When it was time to leave, we loaded our belongings into the SUV and headed back home. We had a nice family vacation. On our way home, we all fell asleep as Mom and Dad navigated the SUV back home. Let me leave you with this quote. To be in your children's memories tomorrow, you must be in their lives today. Come follow Poppy the Author, a country girl at heart, on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and now TikTok.